All right, you want to see a balancing act and understand why having a balanced life is a lie? Watch this. All right, so was I balanced just then, or was I balancing? I was balancing. So anytime you see something that looks and appears to be balanced, what's actually happening is it's counterbalanced, or it's counterbalancing. So when I got into real estate and starting my own businesses, my wife and I would struggle with this search and journey to find a balanced life. And no matter how intentional I was, no matter how hard I worked, no matter how purposeful I was on my time, I couldn't seem to ever have this perfect week where I got off at the same time, I had work-free weekends, so on and so forth. And so as intentional as I was being, I was failing. I felt like I was failing. I felt like I couldn't figure this out and everybody else had. And then I read this book by Gary Keller called The One Thing. And he said in the book that a balanced life is a lie, that was a relief to me, because at this point I'd been looking and looking and looking. And he said the actual goal is not to have a balanced life, but to have a counterbalanced life. He said, think of life like you're driving down a highway. Life is a highway. So he said that over here is your work life, and on the other side of the highway is your personal life. And the goal is to not end up on the ditch or in the ditch on either side of the road. So you don't get in the middle lane of the highway, grip the steering wheel solid, and then just mash the accelerator and expect to stay straight the entire time. Or in the same sense, you don't just let go of the wheel and hit the gas and expect to stay straight. No, what happens is you'll start to drift to one side or the other, and eventually you'll end up in the ditch. When we drive a car, what we're actually doing is we are counterbalancing that car back and forth very quickly so that we stay straight. So it appears that we're balanced, but we're really actually counterbalancing. Like when a kid drives a car, this is what they look like. See, they've already observed in life at a young age that nobody grabs it like this. Everybody counterbalances back and forth. And so if you spend too much time on the business side and you spend too long, you're gonna end up in the ditch. On this side of the highway, you spend too much time on the business part, and then it starts to affect your personal life. But if you spend too much time over here on the personal side out of your business, then that can start to affect your business. And so the idea is to stay counterbalanced and understand when you need to make those adjustments. The business is gonna move in big swings, and you can't control it. Businesses move in seasons. You have busier seasons than others. Yet in the personal life, you can counterbalance that quickly in between all of the busy season. So my wife and I realized this, and then what happened was we started to hold each other accountable. And so if I had a really long week or I had a really long month, she would recognize this, or I would recognize and say, hey, you know what, we need to counterbalance over here because we're getting a little bit out of balance on this. And so we quit trying to have this balanced life, and we started focusing on having a counterbalanced life and make those adjustments really quick. So if you're looking to figure this out as well, I would get the book by Gary Keller called The One Thing, and I would read it, and hopefully it will change your life as it did mine, and quit trying to compare yourself to others and have this perfectly balanced life, and focus on having a counterbalanced life and just make those adjustments as you need to throughout your day and throughout your week and month. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Life is a highway. I wanna